Hello everyone, in this video we are going to discuss about floor of the fourth ventricle. It is diamond in shape, it is also termed as rhomboid fossa, and here is the floor. Now this is part of the roof which is made up of superior medullary velum. So this we need to cut to expose the floor completely. So let's just cut it open, the superior medullary velum, and then we will study the floor. This is frenulum veli and trochlear nerves, so we'll reach up to that point. Deep inside will be superior angle. So this is the superior medullary velum along with the lingula cut. We'll also cut portion of superior cerebellar peduncle so as to expose the underlying floor. See this. So we have completely removed the roof, particularly superior medullary velum and portion of superior cerebral peduncle. So now the diamond shaped floor or rhomboid fossa is completely exposed, and you can clearly make out the four angles, superior, inferior and two lateral angles. Now the entire floor, which is diamond shaped, is divided by a sulcus into two equal halves, which extends from superior angle to inferior angle. This is termed as median sulcus. See this. Now each half is further divided into medial and lateral area by another sulcus. This is termed as sulcus limitans. So this medial area is elevated. It is derived from basal lamina of neural tube, and this elevated area is termed as medial eminence, and mostly motor nuclei are found underneath. Similarly, this lateral area is derived from LR lamina of the neural tube, and mostly sensory nuclei are found underneath. This lateral area is also termed as vestibular area, just because there lies superior, inferior, medial and lateral vestibular nuclei. The lateralmost extreme of this lateral area is seen along the dorsal aspect of this inferior cerebellar peduncle, and here it shows an elevation. This is termed as auditory tubercle, just because there lies dorsal cochlear nuclei deep inside. Now when you see the sulcus limitans closely, above and below there are two depressions, superior and inferior fovea respectively. So this is superior fovea, and above this superior fovea gets flattened. See this, and this shows a bluish grey discolored area. This is termed as locus coeruleus. It is part and parcel of reticular formation. It is responsible for paradoxical sleep. It is rich in melanin and norepinephrine. Now at the level of this superior fovea, the medial eminence shows two elevations. See over here, when I bring it a bit closer and when I move it a bit, you will appreciate two bulge. These are termed as facial colliculi. They are produced by underlying arching fibers of motor nucleus of facial nerve around abducent nuclei. And this is the internal gyano. This is an example of neurobiotaxis. So here are the facial colliculi. Now below, when you see, this is inferior fovea, and this reaches below to the median sulcus, and this divides this medial eminence into upper hypoglossal triangle and lower vagal triangle. So this is hypoglossal triangle, and this is further divided by a faint ridge into medial and lateral area. Below the medial area there lies hypoglossal nerve nuclei, and below this lateral area there lies nucleus intercalatus. Now below this vagal triangle there is a faint ridge, and that separates another small area between this faint ridge and gracile tubercle. This is gracile tubercle. The faint ridge is termed as funiculus apparens. So an area is formed between this funiculus apparens and gracile tubercle. This is termed as area postrema. This is devoid of blood-brain barrier, and deep inside there lies highly vascular neuroglial and neuronal tissue, and on its stimulation it induces vomiting. So it is said that there lies vomiting center inside. So this is behaving as a chemoreceptor, and it is also termed as chemoreceptor trigger zone. Certain authorities are also believing that underneath this area, apart from vomiting center, there lies respiratory center as well. Now the vagal triangle is having dorsal nucleus of vagus underneath. Now along the infralateral margin, these are formed by inferior cerebellar peduncles. These are the infralateral margins, and they are elevated. You can see over here on one side it is clearly seen. This elevated margin is produced by condensation of the ependyma. It is forming a white ridge. This is termed as tinea, and below both the tinea at inferior angle they show an expansion which bridges the gap at the inferior angle and forms part of the roof. This is termed as obex. See this, I'll bring it a bit closer. Just see the obex. So on both the side the obex is lined by ependyma. See this, it is bridging the gap at the inferior angle between two gracile tubercles. So this is obex, and certain authorities are also believing that behind obex there lies a recess of the fourth ventricle. Now when you trace the tinea along the infralateral margin, you will see horizontal part of the tinea. See this, along the dorsal aspect of the inferior cerebellar peduncle. Over here also you can appreciate. So if you imagine a horizontal line at this level along the horizontal part of tinea and another horizontal line at the level of superior fovea, then the entire floor is subdivided into upper, intermediate and lower area. The upper area is derived from isthmus rhomencephalai, the intermediate area is derived from metencephalon, and lower area is derived from myelencephalon. Now in the intermediate area, if you see it closely, you will see certain horizontally running fibers underneath the ependyma. See this, you can see the fibers running in this intermediate area towards inferior cerebellar peduncle. These fibers are termed as stria medullaris, and these fibers are coming from arcuate nuclei. Now these arcuate nuclei are found in relation to the pyramid. So these are the pyramids, and here somewhere there lies arcuate nuclei. From these arcuate nuclei, the fibers will traverse the substance of medulla and they will reach to this median sulcus. Here they will decussate and they reach to the opposite side. They enter into the inferior cerebellar peduncle and then to the cerebellum. Now this is an alternate route of corticopontocerebellar. So arcuate nuclei are nothing but displaced pontine nuclei, and instead of the fibers coming from cerebral cortex to pontine nuclei to cerebellum, the fibers will come from cerebral cortex to arcuate nuclei to stria medullaris and to the cerebellum. So this is an alternate route of corticopontocerebellar, and these are stria medullaris. Now when you see the lower part of the floor of fourth ventricle and when you closely observe the median sulcus, inferior fovea, hypoglossal triangle and this tinea and obex, this area looks like a nib of a pen, and so as this is termed as calamus scriptorius. So this is about the structures found along the floor of the fourth ventricle. Hope you understood well. Thanks for watching.